right, everybody, we are back. It is Safe on Lodge Favorite Raiders Podcast, Favorite Raiders Channel, Favorite Raiders Everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasubs.com. Discount code TDL for 25% off. And of course, we also got the shirts as well. Let me get the VR code up here. Get that QR code up here so you can get the shirts. This is the Bo Jackson one. So this is the Bo Jackson QR code, but this can get you to all the stuff you need. You get the Tecmo Bowl shirt, also with Max Crosby as well as Bo Jackson. I got all those links inside of the bio, or not the bio, the description. Inside the description. All right, so Matt, here we are. We're gonna review the ugly film against the Commanders. All right, so we're gonna get that done for you guys. I'm gonna do Tre Tucker and look at some of the running game tells and see if we can point those out, because I did say that I was gonna do that on Twitter. I got a lot of jokes like, oh, it's Jack Bish. like people are just such film geniuses. So like, I can tell you what that is. No, you can't. Don't. But and the best
if I had $1 for every time someone could tell me what that is, be a rich man.
And Matt's doing the defensive run game at Jonah Laulu. There you go. Jonah Laulu. There, I got it. There you go. The second time. Jonah Laulu.
Yes. Laulu. I'm probably gonna screw that up too. I'm gonna be going in the breakdown, not thinking about it, mess it up. Sorry, Jonah, but not good with names. We're not good with names. We're not good with vowels, and that's just a bad combo.
yeah. We just practicing before the show and still messed it up. So yeah, that goes. All right, so Matt, we reviewed the film. Nothing else crazy is going on. I know there's a Fio Brennan Carroll movement going on, which I think is a little bit interesting, because I just think that kind of just takes everything away from Chip Kelly, because it's not like Brennan Carroll's designing the run game or the passive protection. I mean, it's all Chip Kelly, right? So it's just kind of funny.
Yeah. The problem is, like, when you hire like your son, like if it works out, like no one bats an eye. But when things start going wrong, now it's like, oh, it was a nepotism hire. He's not qualified. And I get it. Like, people should be frustrated. I'm frustrated with the offensive line too, and I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chip Kelly's best friend right now, his shield right now is Brennan Carroll, because he's taking all the swords right now for how the offensive line is played. I get why fans are pissed, and like I said, like I'm not gonna refute it at this stage. Last week before this last game, I might have pushed back a little bit. Matter of fact, I think someone brought it up in one of my mailbag columns, and I pushed back a little bit, and then I'm like, wow, now I just look stupid. Because again, the O-line's not playing well. Colton Miller's playing well, but that's about it. And the interior is a complete mess at this stage. So I get it. I get where the calls come from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just look at the offensive line. Look at the blown blocks. Miller didn't play well this game, though. He didn't play well in the run game. He had he had 3 blown blocks in the run game. Parham actually played pretty well in pass protection, but he had 2 blown blocks in the run game. Meredith was okay, pretty good in pass protection, 2 blown blocks in the run game. No, 1 blown block in the run game. So he had 2 total. But Glaze and I know this Glaze number is wrong. I mean, Glaze Glaze didn't have any. He had 1 blown block in the run game, so he had 7 blown blocks. But he also had. Well, I have him for 5 and 6. I think. PFF gave him a pressure that maybe I didn't give him. I got to kind of go back and look at that and see what's up with that. Yeah, he didn't play well. And Alex Kappa was absolutely terrible. So that's why you heard Pete Carroll say, hey, we want JPJ back in there, because, he went and watched the film on Monday, and he saw that he gave up 7 pressures.
I think he's tied for on PFF. I think he's tied for second, and is 1 off the most pressures allowed. And he's played 1 less game than everyone else. to put it in perspective for you. And again, the offensive line's not playing great as a whole. I know they're been a little bit better in pass protection this past week, and that was a different story. But that should tell you something a little bit.
It's
So
funny. This past week it was the opposite. They're a little bit better in run blocking than they were in pass blocking this week. It was probably it's terrible to say this, but it probably was their best run blocking game of the year. But it still wasn't good. But
I don't know. You're gonna have to sell me on that one, but
it went from terrible to below average.
yeah.
You know, so
Okay, I can buy that for a little bit. Yeah,
point up, man.
it's still like bad. It's still bad, but it's not as bad as it was before.
Yeah, it was from terrible to below average. So we're
in the right direction, trending up.
Maybe next week we get average. Right? That's what we got.
That's asking for a lot.
I know. But yeah, yeah, Alex Kappa is absolutely awful. So I'm happy that project is over. That competition, he basically lost it himself this past game, which I was very happy about because I think the game before that he wasn't absolutely awful, I guess. So they're like, maybe he's better than JPJ, and they play this. They're like, oh,
he's this year's Cody Whitehair. Right. Yeah. Remember last year, Cody Whitehair started the first 2 games over JPJ because he got injured at the end of training camp. And then, like, after 2 weeks, like, nope, get that guy the fuck.
That's basically what happened this game. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's what happened. But we're going to be going over that, look at the run game too. But, Tre Tucker had a big game. I thought Geno Smith, he really didn't start getting going until garbage time, which kind of, you could look at that 2 different ways. It was more about he didn't have a lot of time. And I think Chip Kelly's not really helping him at this point either. So it's like a mixture of both. And he's not seeing things really well. But the garbage time started, he was anticipating and throwing on time. And I was like, bro, where was this in the first and second quarter and the third quarter before it was 34-10? And he just turned into a totally different quarterback. It's very frustrating to watch. Very frustrating. To be honest, but he played okay. I think Brock Bowers is hurt. That's a big issue, but I think he's trying to deal with it. But I think it's like a little bit Chip Kelly too. Is you saw Logan Paulson talk about it. I'm probably gonna write an article about it at SB Nation, but I talked about it in the instant reaction. It's very college at this point. College-y, I guess that is a word now, man. We learned that college-y. I'm not the only one to use it, so I felt a lot better. Yeah, exactly. I felt a lot better. NFL player used it, so I was like, look, see, college-y. So yeah, it was very college-y right now. So and the way he was explaining it too makes sense because like the safeties aren't spread out as much. You can't spread the safeties out as much, and there's more condensed, and the linebackers can't get spread out as much. So everything's a little bit more condensed from that perspective. And I think that's having an effect of where he wants guys to go a little bit. But I mean, it was their best week. So, I mean, you could look at it 2 ways, I guess. But still, like I said, still wasn't great. It was below average for sure. Your thoughts on the defense?
Well, I just want to say, like, you talk about Chip Kelly's being offense being very college-y. Like, Cliff Kingsbury this week, he ran like a very much a college offense and more so in the running game. I should specify it, but like in the passing game, that seems to be where Chip's having his deficiency. But like they ran like a lot of college concepts, a lot of air raid. Chip Kelly, Cliff Kingsbury, as we know, comes from the college ranks for the most part, and it just worked basically to perfection against the Raiders. I mean, I think the frustrating thing about this game, and we'll see some of these clips in the run games, is they just weren't ready to play. I don't know if it was like the short week and whatnot, and the early kick and all that stuff, how much that played a factor. But like they were having trouble getting lined up. They were in the wrong fronts. Guys were lining up in the same gap, ending up in the same gap, leaving stuff wide open. Then on top of it, missing tackles too. So it was just like it was a lot of things where like defensively, I know they weren't perfect in the first 2 games, but they were at least doing the little things right consistently. And then this week they didn't do the little things right because again they were having trouble just getting lined up and being in the right fronts and that kind of stuff. And that's why you ended up seeing the product you saw, especially against the run. There's a reason why they'd only allowed, like, I think it was 146. I want to say is the number in my head, something around 145 in the first 2 games combined. And then they got ran on for over 200. They were not ready to defend the read option. That was pretty damn clear. They were fine when Mariota like gave it and handed it off. But for the most part, when he kept it, like he was going for 10 damn near every time. And like there were a few reps where it just looked like a completely different team. Like the linebackers across the board. I know Pratt had like a decent, I think Roberts and Pratt had like decent PFF grades, and Roberts was probably the best of them. But I didn't think any of the linebackers really played particularly well. Like they missed a bunch of tackles, weren't in the right spot. Devin White, who's good for them in the first 2 weeks, like he looked like he was lost out there. Like we'll see a couple of these plays where he just got set up terribly by running backs, and he was actually in like decent spots sometimes, and he like took himself out of the play. It was frustrating. And then the passing game, it was really just kind of like Caillou Blue Kelly had his worst game and going up against Terry McLaurin. They very clearly wanted to pick on that matchup. I think Caillou was like the most targeted corner in the game, and they pulled him in like I want to say like halfway through the third quarter.
Oh,
Uh,
shit.
and he ended up not finishing the game. Now, the other side of that, one of the positive takeaways is Darian Porter, I actually thought played pretty well. He was one of the other guys I was considering doing. He just only played 16 snaps and got targeted, I believe, just once to make a couple of nice tackles on the run and stuff like that. It just wasn't a big enough sample size for me to do like a full episode or full breakdown on. But the other guy that played well, and the reason why I didn't do Porter is Jonah Laulu. Let me see.
Laulu. Yeah,
Laulu.
Laulu. There you go.
He was one of the few guys against the run that like played well pretty darn consistently. Him and Max Crosby, where I thought were the two most consistent run defenders, and I think that's kind of part of the silver lining too. Is like I think we saw like good play out of him, and he probably had his best game of the year. I know he has 3 sacks by the end of the game, but those sacks were a lot of coverage sacks and whatnot, and cleanup sacks. I thought this was his best game, especially as a run defender, because he made a bunch of plays and he was he was taking it to a few of those offensive linemen from the Commanders and winning at the point of attack, which was really fun and really nice to see. So he was one of my positive breakdowns that we'll get to that actually got me a little fired up and a little excited.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, it was ugly, man. It was just an ugly game all around.
Yeah,
I just thought like it just felt like they're a little overmatched, So, but it didn't feel like way against the Chargers. You feel like the Chargers were a better team, so it was just weird, right? Because you're like, oh, they're just overmatched. It was talent deficiency, but like, yeah, it's the same thing with the Chargers too, and they look better. So it's just weird, right? It was
yeah.
weird, and you're probably right. They just weren't prepared this game. It just felt like they just short week just
Yeah.
killed them.
I mean, it's only a few hours, but like the late kick on Monday night and then to the early kick on Sunday. I mean, maybe that played a factor. Maybe I'm letting him off the hook too much. We'll see on this upcoming week on Sunday. But yeah,
Mhm.
that was the only thing like I could really put my finger on of like this kind of explains why they're not quite ready. Because again,
Yeah,
short week and whatnot, and playing against a team that didn't have their starting quarterback, but is pretty damn good across the board and in a lot of different levels. Just kind of was a recipe for disaster at the end of the day.
yeah. All right, dude. Let's get into the defense first. Let's just see what the hell happened. Because I mean, since they were the good unit going into here this game, right?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna start with the bad. And to be honest, I know I was talking a little bit about, or a lot about how they were just not ready. This first play, more than anything, is just bad execution. Like what we're gonna see here, they're actually lined up pretty good for this in this front against the Commanders. Against Commanders formation here, they did this a lot. We'll see this pretty often, where they brought this extra tight end or this extra offensive lineman to come play tight end. The problem is, if we watch Tyree Wilson and Adam Butler here, like we're going to see Wilson, he does a decent job at first, but he ends up getting pinned inside. And then my issue with Adam Butler here is lined up as a 3 technique, so he's outside shade on the guard. The problem is that we're going to see him is the guard and center are going to scoop block him, and
Hmm.
then this center is going to end up on the opposite side on him, which really cannot happen when you have this much of a pre-snap leverage. So that's
Yeah,
already creating a rushing lane. But even so, like the way the Raiders have it right now, they've got it plugged up, right? Tyree Wilson's
yeah.
doing a good enough job initially to not make it a glaring gap. And we got Devin White to fill this hole, so fill this rushing lane. Jermaine Pratt to take this one. And is that, I think that, oh, no,
Uh,
that's Fotu. Yeah.
hmm.
Fotu's on there to take away the backside. So like you're gonna see the running back, like he's gonna see White coming in the D gap here on the outside zone run. So he's going to look. The running back's going to look to cut it up. Jermaine Pratt's there, so he can't. So he's going to go try and come back to the play side. But what I
Hmm.
want you to do is watch Devin White.
I was watching. When you ran it the first, I was like, "What the hell is he doing?"
Yeah, he blocks himself. Like I don't understand what he's trying to do. I know what he's trying to do is he sees running backs start to come downhill. So he's thinking, I'm going to scrape over the top and help out. But you're not going to get there. You're not going to cover that much ground
Yeah.
to be able to make that play. What I need you to do is stay home and stay in that D gap and trust Pratt that he's going to end up making that play.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is he goes inside. He basically just lets the running back set him up here. And that tight end, that our extra offensive lineman, now has an easy block to come off the combo. And it's a 14-yard gain.
Good Lord. That's ugly.
Here's where it gets frustrating. Something's wrong, right? This is the center. Uh-oh, what happened to this guy? What happened to our left tackle? He's over here at right tackle, and watch Malcolm Kuntz. He's telling Fotu, bump over, right? Hey, slide over. The reason why he's saying that is when you get an unbalanced line like this, the best way to play it is to just treat the right guard like the center here.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they try to Fotu just switches from, hey, I'm going to line up on 2-eye on the guard, so I'm just going to play a shade nose on the actual center. Where instead, if Butler bumps over and basically plays the 3 technique on the tackle instead of, so what would be a 5 technique?
Yeah.
And then Fotu he can even play on this side of the center, or just sit here and play a 2-eye technique or play what would be a 1 technique on the right guard who we're treating as the center in this situation. Then we're in a much better spot to defend this, because then it's just like a regular 5-man offensive line. The other problem I have, is that Marcus Mariota, Marcus?
Yes, it is.
No, that's Deebo Samuel.
Oh, it's Deebo Samuel. Oh, I was like, oh. Yes. I just saw the number 1 for some reason. I thought it was Marcus Mariota. I don't know why.
You're good. It's about a foot too short, but you're right.
Good.
But we've got Deebo Samuel in the backfield. So it's Wildcat. How many defenders do we have in the box? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Against Wildcat for 1. Now let's count the offensive players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not a math guy, but a +2 advantage for the offense when the quarterback is a major rushing threat. I mean, which granted he is with Mariota in there, but when he has no threat to pass, Jeremy Chin, what the hell are you doing 8 yards off the ball? Isaiah Palamau, I only know you're in the picture because I can see your cleats.
What are they doing?
This is what I'm talking about, where they just weren't prepared.
What down is this?
I don't remember, but it was first. It couldn't be third down, because why would they run
exactly
Wildcat in this situation? So again, we're not lined up correctly, and then on top of it, we have a numbers disadvantage in the box, and then it gets worse. Watch Devin White again.
Good. Right. Oh my God.
Blocked himself. Gets set up again by Deebo Samuel. Again, Pratt's there to be able to make the play. We also have Jeremy Chin there. We don't need you there. Where we need you is outside and on this alley.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the only problem here. Now, remember what I was saying, where if we can get Butler on the right tackle instead of on the right guard here to account for this unbalanced line, Max Crosby doesn't have to face a double team while trying to set the edge.
Yeah.
And you can see that he ends up getting widened, which helps make the rushing lane even bigger for Deebo, who actually doesn't even take that. He could probably just hit it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he sets up Devin White here and makes Connolly's block easy for him. The other issue is, now Adam Butler does a great job of getting penetration, but at some point we got to sink our hips and stop getting up the field. He gets so far up the field that Andrew Wiley just says, okay, you want to keep going? Sweet, we'll run right underneath you. The other issue, Fotu ends up getting blocked into Jermaine Pratt.
Jesus Christ. That's the nose tackle. Nose tackle is supposed to get blocked like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Trust me. And this is the other thing. My other things too is if he's inside, maybe that doesn't happen. But again, we're struggling to get lined up. We don't know how to play this. He's barely into his stance, so he gets locked into the linebacker. And then again, Jermaine Pratt in a decent spot to make the play, but can't make that tackle. Doesn't come, I should say, can't be more aggressive to come here and make the tackle. Doesn't. Jamal Adams actually does a decent job in pursuit, ends up missing. And again, Devin White not in the right spot. So Deebo gets, I think, what did he get on this one? 9 yards. Easy.
Wow.
Now this was the best play they had running the option, just because Thomas Booker, excuse me, ends up saving the day and make one hell of a hustle play to force a fumble on Marcus Mariota.
I thought he's going to score on this play. No joke.
And I don't blame you. I don't blame you, because the reason why I'm including this is not a good play overall, and this was pretty symptomatic of how they were just not ready to play the option. And the bigger problem is we're going to see Max Crosby and Jermaine Pratt. They're basically both going to play the dive back. I'm going to cut Max a little bit of slack here, because he gets like the lead blocker here out of the inverted wishbone. He bluffs like he's going to come block him, and then arcs release up to the linebacker. So Max is probably a little bit too far up the field to be able to get the dive back, and like you can see, like that's clearly what he's wanting to do. My bigger problem here is Jermaine Pratt. Jermaine Pratt, if Crosby has the dive back, I need you scraping over the top of the formation. But what I think happens is he freezes when he sees the little like counter action in the backfield, because the Commanders ran this play all day long where they just ran counter with the read option behind it. We'll see a few of these examples, even in some of the positive plays. But they ran this concept all day. But Pratt kind of just freezes and plays in no man's land. Like this receiver comes to crack block him. And I mean, he's basically in the same spot by the time the receiver gets in the box. And he doesn't even have to like really block him. He just plays patty cake with them. No one accounts for the quarterback.
He's not even looking at Mariota.
This is what I'm saying, they just weren't ready for it. And it's frustrating. I know Mariota, like, obviously was not a game time decision, but they didn't announce him as a starter. But they're going to run the read option with Jaden Daniels. You know what I mean? Like that had to be somewhat accounted for, and they just weren't ready for it.
That's crazy.
I think this is another read option. Yep. So first of all, this is what I'm talking about. So you can see pre-snap. I mean, Devin White right now is still making calls while they're snapping the ball, not ready to go. And part of the problem is, if you notice, we got 80 at left tackle. So they're in that same unbalanced offensive line where they just moved Laramie Tunsil, left tackle, out to right tight end. And I think that's what's causing the confusion. They want to be able to play it better. Now, I'd still argue Booker should probably be on this side of the offense, or on the plant shading on the right tackle here, and then Butler should be shading on the right guard to play this a little bit better. And Kuntz right here, again, just treat the right guard like the center.
Yeah.
But even so, still not ready to go for it. And this is a good play design because they're going to run to the weak side of the formation away from the unbalanced line.
Yeah.
But the same thing with Jermaine Pratt. Like you just said, like he's not even looking at Mariota. I don't know what he's seeing. Like this one, I get it a little bit. He's going to get some zone action from the offensive line. But right here, when he starts to see the mesh point, like I don't know what he's doing. And the center, who is working the opposite direction, is the one who ends up blocking him and sealing him to the inside. And on top of it, like with Kuntz, he's playing the dive back. He's got the running back. So that's where I really need Jermaine Pratt to scrape over the top and go account for the quarterback. He doesn't. And ends up getting sealed. And on top of it, too, if we watch Caillou Blue Kelly here, like he sees the run action, but he still starts dropping in coverage like he's going to cover this tight end. And by the time the other tight end that's playing fullback there comes out to block him, he's not in a good spot. He ends up getting blocked by Jeremy Chin, and Mariota gets 14 yards untouched. So again, Kuntz has the dive back here. Pratt should be scraping over the top to get the quarterback, and then we don't get no edge support from our corner because he's dropping in coverage. In fact, he ends up taking out Jeremy Chin and blocking Jeremy Chin.
Good Lord.
Yeah, this is frustrating. Another spot to me, I don't know. Maybe there's a defense coordinator, defensive line coach that will disagree with me on this. But against this jumbo formation, again, we have the offensive lineman in at tight end, 13 personnel with the extra tight end who's going to actually motion across the formation to make it 3 tight ends on one side. You can't be in the underfront. I know they have the 5th man locked up on the line of scrimmage. That's just to account for the second tight end. This is basically just an underfront. So we have the 3 technique on the backside. And like you'll notice too, like they're going to slide over. So now we have 3 people on our backside with mean, I guess they have every gap covered if you want to look at it that way, but we're overplaying the backside at this stage. And on top of it, like Roberts is going to slide over with motion, and White, I mean, he picks up his feet at the end, doesn't actually move. Now, part of the reason why I talk about this being a bad front to play in this is watch what happens to Malcolm Kuntz, who I think should also, at the very least, be inside shade on the tight end instead of head up on him. But either way, just watch what happens to Kuntz. He ends up getting triple teamed. But the way you can solve that, the way you can take that away, is if you're in the over front, where Booker's playing on outside shade of the guard. So now the tackle has to come down on Booker.
Mm-hmm.
And we get, at the very, in a bad scenario, we get a double team on Kuntz, which will take those chances over the triple team.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of it, both linebackers crash downhill and into the B gap. So we have two linebackers in one gap. And again, we're not in a good front for this from the start because we're overplaying the backside with three guys over here.
Mm-hmm.
And that results in Eric Stokes being one-on-one with the running back, our corner coming in to fill and run support. And that's not a matchup we want because Stokes ended up missing the tackle. They end up getting 9. So this is what I'm talking about where they just weren't prepared. We got two guys in one. We're, first of all, not lined up properly. Second of all, we're going to have two linebackers in one gap. And then third, we have our cornerback trying to play run support and fill the alley. And he ends up missing the tackle. Also, probably can get a little better job of setting the edge against the tight end from Jermaine Pratt
here. Yeah, like they're just not prepared at all. Like this is exactly what it's like. This is like a team that's not prepared.
Exactly. And then here's where I was a little bit more vindicated with thinking that they should be in the overfront because they come out in the same exact formation in this play, and this time they actually are lined up decently. The problem becomes when they get this motion. Now, this time, both linebackers do bump over, so we get that right. But watch the nose and watch the Landon Roberts. Watch Fotu and Roberts. They end up in the same gap because Roberts is blitzing, Roberts is coming downhill, and for some reason, Fotu is slanting across and face into the center. They did this a lot, so what I'm assuming happens is this was supposed to be checked, where he's just now supposed to stay in the backside A gap. Fotu's supposed to stay in the backside A gap. He just didn't pick up on it. But what's frustrating about this is, for the most part, this is pretty well defended, right? Like we got most of the gaps open, or goes the gaps accounted for. Darian Porter can come fill the alley, or Jeremy Chin can come fill in that D gap. And we were creating like some some congestion up in the middle. So the running back is actually going to bounce backside on this duo call for him. Duo call from the offense. The problem is no one's in the backside A gap, and Laulu actually does a pretty damn good job of beating his man, and he almost ends up closing the gap by himself. But when there's no one there, and we're supposed to have a 350-pound Polynesian dude in there, it's a little bit harder. I mean, Nichols gets 11 yards right up the gut.
Good Lord.
Darian Porter's pretty much the only reason why it saved the day, because it'd be one-on-one with Polymau, excuse me, can't talk today, in open space. So yeah, frustrating because this was probably one of the better plays they had, but when you have two guys in one gap and the running back finds the opening, not much you can do.
Yeah, this guy, one of my dudes who watched the show, White Tyson, was asking me why Leaky Fotu wasn't playing as much. I hope he's watching this show.
Yeah, Fotu had a better game last week, but this one was not his day. We'll say that.
Yeah, it looked like him on the Cardinals and the Jets. It looked like
pretty much. All right, which one we got here? Oh yeah, okay. This is the last bad play we're gonna get.
Oh God, here we go.
And this one was even more frustrating than the last one because, again, for the most part, I mean, we're gonna see Devin White. Devin White's gonna have a rough rep on this one, but for the most part, this is blocked up. Jeremy Chin has the running back dead to rights in the hole for like a 2-yard gain. The problem becomes Landon Roberts is going to come help on the tackle. He ends up knocking Jeremy Chin off of it. And to make it worse, he can't make the tackle either. We get a little like last-ditch effort here from Devin White, who ends up missing too. Max Crosby lays out. He misses the tackle as well. and it's off to the races for a 60-yard touchdown.
What was Jermaine Pratt doing? Just blocking? He just engaged just to be.
Let's see. I didn't even see that part. Dude, I don't know, dude. That's this.
Like he's just fighting with this guy. Like, hey, Pratt, the play's not over.
Well, watch Stokes too. He literally stops.
He's like, oh, what the?
Like if he keeps playing, and I'm not even saying like go get involved in the tackle right now. If he just keeps running, he's got 4.3 speed. He catches McNichols and prevents the touchdown at the very least. But again, this is an effort. This was an AP business decisions play from a lot of guys. And it's frustrating because again, just want to rewind this. Dead to rights right now.
Yeah,
should be a 2-yard gain. Goes for 60.
Yeah, but like what was Landon Roberts doing? Like, why did he try to?
I don't know.
All right, man. This is enough. You got to rewind it again. I'm sorry. That's enough.
We'll fast forward.
Yeah, let's get to some positivity here. I know this coming up after this. All right, here we go.
I got it. This first play, I'll say this first play is probably gonna be the worst one from Laulu. He does get some penetration here. This is kind of a one-off thing. He does get some penetration, which I like. I would like to see him maybe like try and sink his hips a little bit here. He gets caught in an awkward position. You can see like he's not in balance, so he can't come flat down the line of scrimmage, and they end up missing the tackle on this one. But I at the very least, especially for how this game went, I can appreciate that he's getting some penetration and getting off the ball. And again, this is going to be the worst play we see from him in this clip. This next one wasn't technically all that functional. I just liked how he beat the hell out of Biotish here at the point of attack on this screen, which is going to be a common theme that we see in these next few reps. And on top of it, too, I love the hustle to go out there and factor into the tackle, or at least be around the ball. I don't think he got credit for the tackle here, but I love that. Win at the point of attack, win at the line of scrimmage, and then make the extra effort play. Now, this next play, this is one of the ones where I was talking about where they ran that counter action with the read option. But when they forced Mariota to give it, it actually worked out pretty well. And what you're going to see from the Raiders here is Laulu is going to slant towards his right, or kind of take his first few steps are going to be wide. And then Kuntz is going to loop underneath. Like they have a line game going, and that works out perfectly because if you watch Tyler Biotish, the center here, he's going to pretty much beeline for Kuntz. So they're trying to read Laulu here on this little, I guess, midline read. But because he's getting off the ball and being disruptive, and the play call helps here too. This is a good stunt call this is a good time to call the stunt from Patrick Graham because it works pretty well as a run stunt. He ends up blowing up the center. What you're going to see too is that ends up picking Tunsil as the pulling tackle. And then Roberts, because of that, Roberts is able to come downhill, and he ends up making the tackle. I think this went down as a TFL because Tunsil ends up being late to the spot. So with what Laulu is doing. On top of it too, I love the finish from Laulu because like you can see, like right now he's done his job, picking the puller, and he's beating the center at the point of attack here. But he does the extra effort to get off the block. He ends up going and getting factoring into the tackle at the behind the line of scrimmage. Now this next clip, I think this is actually the next play after the first one we watched.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you can see some of the power at the point of attack. This isn't a perfect rep. Like you'll see him, he's kind of getting washed inside a little bit. But what I like about it is he has great hands. Like you can see right here, he's got his hands inside on the blocker's chest. And that's going to allow him to stand up, this dude, and gain a little bit of control on it. And on top of it too, like he's got a nice wide base. So while he's getting reduced inside a little bit, he's pretty much just squeezing down, and he's going to be in a perfect spot to put himself between the running back and the goal line, which ends up being huge because if we watch Fotu here, he's going to end up getting blocked into the end zone from the double team.
Yeah.
So if Lalu's not there, this to me is a touchdown, even with the great rep from Thomas Booker to beat the center and then end up getting in the backfield to make the tackle.
Yeah.
Again, nice rep that ends up saving a touchdown on this one from Laulu.
Fotu's getting his ass kicked, man. Good Lord.
Yeah, it was a rough one for old Leaky. Now this next one, again, not anything technically functional. He's just on the backside of this run here. Josh Connerly had a rough one, especially as a run blocker.
Mm-hmm.
But you just kind of get to see a little bit of Laulu's power. Like he just does a great job on the backside of getting physical, getting off the ball. I think he looks like he's trying to cross face here. He's trying to get into this B gap, and he ends up just not only closing the gap with Connerly, but this is the center, right? Keep an eye on him.
Mm-hmm.
Laulu ends up pushing him into the center, just physically dominating him.
Yeah.
And again, doesn't really factor into the play or make much of a difference on this one. I just like this rep from physicality standpoint, but also a good one from Max Crosby, timing up the snap and winning inside like we saw last week. Mm-hmm. And then Darian Porter filling the gap a little bit and providing some run support.
There you go, Darian.
That's what I'm saying, man. He made a few plays. All right, this next one is actually my favorite. Again, on the backside of the zone run here. Now, this one, the Raiders as a whole did pretty well. Like you're going to see on the front side, they do a great job of plugging up the gaps, which is going to force the running back to cut backside. But from the Laulu's perspective, again, just great strength at the point of attack. Like he does a good job of getting underneath Andrew Wiley here, got his hands inside, and he ends up walking Andrew Wiley back into the backside A gap. And Laulu technically does Landon Roberts' job for him this time, because this is one where Roberts and Fotu were on the same page, where Fotu is going to slant into the A gap, the strong side A gap, and that means Roberts is responsible for the backside A gap. But with Laulu just physically dominating Wiley, I mean that gap is closed. And then on top of it, Crosby winning inside. Once this running back cuts back, Laulu's in a great spot to get off the block, and he ends up making the tackle and getting a TFL in his gap. So this is a great rep from Laulu where he just takes away 2 gaps on his own.
Wow.
Without even 2 gapping.
It's impressive.
Yeah. And a big part of what I really appreciated from Laulu's game is even on a few reps where he didn't win at the point of attack, he still managed to win the rep overall. Like you'll see on this one, like he's actually going to get pushed back probably about a yard, I'd say, by Chris Paul here. Mm-hmm. But what I love about that he does is, one, he still has good pad level to help himself recover. Again, he was really good with his hands in this game. Like you'll see still gets his hands inside. And on top of it, like just watch him hand fight after contact. And like you'll see Paul's like struggling to reset his hands and get his hands back on him. And that just allows Laulu to end up shedding the block. And he ends up making the tackle for, I think this was like a 3 or 4 yard gain, something like that.
Yeah.
So again, not as physically dominant as those other reps that we saw, but I like the fact that he was able to recover and still win the rep overall. Similar one this time again. Does I like to call this the Karate Kid move, a little wax on, wax off with this hand, just to knock Paul's outside hand off of his chest right here.
Yeah.
And on top of it, just finishes with a nice little move to use Paul's momentum against him, and ends up escaping to the inside. Gets involved in the tackle here. Also, a good nice rep here from Adam Butler. Give him a shout out. Boom. Again, rough one for Josh Connerly.
Yeah. Okay.
Last rep we're going to watch here. Same kind of thing. Like going up against Laramie Tunsil. Tunsil kind of gets him a little bit on the initially. And part of the problem is you're going to see the Raiders defensive line. They're going to pinch where basically every defensive lineman is going to work towards the center. They're trying to take away like some sort of inside run. And the reason why that becomes significant is that means the Laulu's already moving this way. And if you watch Tunsil, he's trying to down block him. Like he's trying to down block him on this counter call. Yeah. So the D-line movement actually kind of puts Laulu in a bad spot here where he's already moving in the direction that Tunsil wants him to go. But Laulu does a great job of just kind of holding ground as much as he can. And on top of it, just using Tunsil's momentum against him with a nice little hump move to get off the block. Again, go factor into the play. So I think this was like might have been right at the line of scrimmage, tackle for no gains kind of deal. So yeah, another pretty impressive rep.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I should say overall, run defense was bad. But I think the encouraging part is, again, seeing Laulu not only win at the point of attack, but be able to recover. And I think that's what, if you're looking for some silver linings from this game, a guy like that that's a young player that had a pretty good performance against, Tunsil's a former All Pro. I'm pretty sure, at least a Pro Bowler.
Hmm.
That's, I think, where you can get some encouragement and find some silver linings in this game.
Yeah, for sure. That was awful to watch, man. Devil White was terrible. I mean, they all were awful, to be honest.
Yeah,
That was hard to watch. I do want to ask you before we get to offense, because Max Crosby had like a 0% win weight and pass rush. Like, what do you think was that factor in that?
I think a big part of it. I mean, he still had like a handful of pressures. Like he had that one sack where he just kind of won with his get off it on it. But I think a big part of it goes to what I was talking about last week. Right now, a lot of teams, they're just double and chipping him, and they're just saying we're going to make the Raiders beat us with one of their other pass rushers, and nobody's winning consistently enough to get them away from that. I think that's a
Yeah,
big factor on that. I think Max's issues, quote unquote, as a pass rush are getting a little bit overblown. Like he's there's nobody to take any of the attention off of him. Last year, in years past, there was a guy like Christian Wilkins at the beginning of the season last year that was doing a lot of taking the attention away from him. Malcolm Kuntz 2 years ago when he was rushing the passer. Clavon Chason was getting productive, or was getting some productive rushes last year too. So I think that's probably the biggest factor. Is just offenses can just game plan around him and basically say someone else beat us and no one else is really stepping up at this stage.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Um, yeah, I know that's a big thing about, and that's going around with his
Yeah.
0% win rate. So I just want to see what you saw, what you thought about it. But
Yeah. I mean, he did have three pressures, didn't have a great pass rush grade, only 63.2, which is just above the baseline. But part of it too was the Commanders didn't really have to throw the ball with how the Raiders were playing the run and how they were just confused by a lot of the Washington's rushing scheme. So that played a factor in it too.
yeah. All right, let's just do some offense here. All right, so we're gonna start off with Tre Tucker here. So I'm just we're basically look at his 7 catches, like his basically his main targets, right? All right, because there wide receiver screens not on here, but all right, check out this first one here. So basically, what you're getting, let it run here. I mean, you're getting Y cross again, right? And he ends up coming at this catch, and we get DJ Glaze getting beat here. Now, one thing besides this, you're getting Y crosser, you get the crosser here from Tre Tucker, right? Then you get the out route from Besh, and you get the underneath route, kind of the same concept you saw last week that ended up being a pretty big concept, but they get a different coverage here. They're playing against some cover 3 here this time. But my thing I just want to say about the offensive line before I get into more of this is that like they get no help, man. They are one-on-one. They probably should get some help here. Like get some chips going, something like that. Help these guys out on the outside a little bit. But see right there, great catch there by Tucker. Good job, Tucker. Just keep crossing on the over route here, right?
Yeah.
Because Gino could have hit him at any point. He could have hit him here. It did take a little bit while to see him there, um, but he still got it there and ends up making a good catch there.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see that maybe see with the crosser right here, boom, right? Because he wants to go to Myers here. I mean that's what the play is designed, but Myers they're basically ready for that play. And then maybe if he had time, he could have went to Tucker just off jump, but made a good throw there.
Was that 3rd and 1?
Yes,
Is
that's 3rd and 1.
there a reason why they're in shotgun with Genty walked up on the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 1?
Yeah, letting everybody know, hey, we're not running here.
All
Let's
right.
quarterback draw because he thought it was blitz. Like, and this is saying they did this a lot. They did this a lot to Gino, where they had him all lined up here and then dropped out because then it confuses it a little bit. And he's like, okay, that's not what I thought. I thought I was getting the blitz. I thought I'm getting man. Like, no, you're not.
Mm.
You're getting zone. You get like a cover 3 man match. It kind of looks like man a little bit, but it's still
Yeah.
you guys see that it's like a more of a man match type of thing.
What's funny is I think the Commanders ran this exact play with this exact coverage from the Raiders, but the Raiders had coverage bust for a touchdown.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. All right. So here's another one. That's the wrong play there. Oops, I got the wrong play in there. All right. So I messed up his dig there. That's fine. We're okay. He had a little dig route there, but I put the wrong play in there. I'm sorry about that, guys. All right. So on this one, just getting a little crosser here. What I like about this one from Tucker is how he kind of just finds the hole there. Right, and you kind of can see what kind of concept there. I mean, really what Gino wants is over here. He wants the choice route because you're getting a little basic choice here with Brock Bowers. But of course, the whole NFL look like watch how many guys are around Brock, right?
Yeah.
And then you get the little choice route corner, right? So once that comes off Brock, there's nothing there. He's actually getting some really good blocking here, right? I mean, they got to do something about that Thornton because he just can't separate. I mean, I think you got to play Jack Bash. That's one thing I hope they realize.
Yeah.
But it's a great job by Tucker here, just keeping it moving, and actually a good job by Gino, kind of understanding what's happening, staying calm here, not panicking, and making a good throw there.
I feel like that's part of the evolution of Tre Tucker because the fact that he's like just being smart and finding the open grass, like that's something I feel like in the last, the first 2 years that he's been kind of growing at in the last since he entered the NFL.
Yeah, and that's a great transition, Matt, because this is the exact same play.
All right.
So basically, what you're gonna get here, you're getting yeah, I mean it's the same concept because you're getting a choice here, kind of switched up a little bit, but you're gonna get a choice route from Brock Bowers. You get the corner route from Myers. So basically, this is called choice to shallow. I mean, if you're a Raiders fan, Darren Waller and Derek Carr ate on this play. This is basically their main play. And then even if you think about it, like what John Gruden added, he added a post route with Henry Ruggs, and there's like 3 touchdowns off that. But what I like about this one, right? I mean, you could make the case that he could just throw this to Brock Bowers on time, boom, Brock Bowers, bam, right? You could make the case there on time, just throw it to Brock. But you see how many guys are converging on Brock Bowers. Look at that. 3 guys, right? And what I like though here is that see Tre Tucker here. He could keep coming on the shallow. He does a good job of stopping here, right? Catching that ball, getting upfield, gets 11. First down.
Good job selling that route too.
Yeah. So and it's a good job by reading it too. Like, because I mean, this is you're getting some quarters here, right? And he knows this guy's gonna keep widening. He knows he has to keep widening with this the check down here, right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he does a good job of just stopping right there. Boom, stop. Makes the play. All right. So next one here. So this one is going to be a little bit interesting, because you're going to get a same kind of drag route here from Tre Tucker again, but this time you're going to get a spot concept. So you're going to get you're going to get a deeper hitch on the spot concept. It's kind of going to set up Washington, and you get Ashton Jeanty out here on the flat route, right? Okay. So this is his second touchdown of the game. Now, what's interesting about this, right? You're getting quarters, right? And this guy is flat-footed here, and you want the spot concept, right? This flat foot, he's going to drive. You got Brock Bowers over the top. Like, there's no way this guy's going to Brock Bowers. I don't care if he's hurt, right? And he's just wide open. I don't know why Gino didn't throw them ball. No idea. But this is the play design. I have no idea why he didn't throw the ball. I honestly have no idea. I can't tell you why. He doesn't throw it to him, right? And maybe it's I don't know. Maybe he feels like the pressure's coming or something because Kappa sucks and he's getting his ass kicked, and he feels like he's got to get rid of this ball. But I feel like if he got rid of it on time, it's a touchdown to Bowers. But since they're playing quarters, and then you got Ian Thomas over here, I think is that Thornton? And that's Ian Thomas. They're in 12 personnel here, so you got Ian Thomas doing a good job of kind of holding his corner. Tre Tucker's wide open for a touchdown. Boom, easy, walk in. But you can see Kappa just getting his ass kicked here. I mean, this is basically the whole game. This is Kappa ass kicking. But yeah, but I mean, this one's kind of simple, a little simple route here with Tre Tucker. But I still think this should have been a Brock Bowers touchdown. You kind of can even see Brock before he realized it. You watch Brock a little bit. He kind of just like, oh, and he puts his, he's like, oh, my knee hurts, man. Why are you making me do this? Basically, but he was happy. It was a touchdown, anyways. He's happy about it. All right, so this is probably my favorite one right here, and this one also bothered me just about the timing Geno has on this play. And if he had this all game, they would be. I think if he had this timing for most of the plays, they would avoid a lot of sacks, and they'd be picking teams apart. I think a little bit, right? One, you get a chip from Brock Bowers, which I was just calling out. Look at that. They get a chip, gets a little bit more time. Get another chip here, a little bit more time from the outside. But watch this route by Tre Tucker here, right? So see Tre kind of just sell it. He goes full speed. See, he put his head down, right? Then he like angles it out a little bit, like he's gonna run an out route. Boom, and then he just gets. This is probably his best stop I've seen in a minute. I mean, it's not the perfect stop, but that's a great stop for what we've seen during his career.
Yeah.
So that's like he's just a more complete receiver this year. And look at just like the speed, the pace. Like he doesn't come out really fast, right? See, he comes out just like he hits his full speed, boom. That ball's already out on time there. Right there to him. First down.
He's becoming a vet receiver, man.
Yeah, dude. Like it. First down here. Now here's the touchdown here on this one. But I mean, this one's pretty simple. But he just runs past this guy. And I don't know what they're doing. They're just so worried about Brock Bowers, as you can see. Like you see the safety right here. The safety's gonna be just completely worried about Brock Bowers. He's not even looking at Tucker. He's looking at Brock Bowers. And Tucker does a good job. You see Tucker attack this guy's outside shoulder. You see his eyes. He's attacking his outside shoulder. Boom. And as soon as he does that, that kind of just holds his corner enough, right? When he's attacking the outside shoulder, and then he cuts it right back upfield, and he's gone. That is like,
damn.
That is a great route. He comes inside, comes back outside, attacks the outside shoulder, boom, and this speed. Easy. Touchdown. I know this is in garbage time, but that's impressive. That's impressive. Now I'm going to show you how he could have had 200 yards. Okay. Now don't be mad at me about this, and I know. But you see him on this Y cross right here. He's going to just be crossing the field. Now, I'm talking about them kind of switching the looks on Geno here, because you got all these guys kind of up front. Geno's thinking, okay, they're going to blitz here, but they ends up being a creeper, right? Because Bobby Wagner's coming, but it's only 4 rushers, right? So, but what happens is with them so like worried about like Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers here or something, you see this safety here. They try to confuse Geno is going to come all the way over to this side, right? Because usually with some of these concepts, maybe, honestly, I don't know exactly what they thought. I think they're trying to play the dig route here, but you see, Jacoby Myers kind of messed that up too. But then you have Tucker one-on-one with the linebacker, and the thing is, like that's what happened here. I think Geno just got confused. I think he's confused. Like he sees this guy move. Everything he thought pre-snap is not here, right? But that's why he's got to stay calm, because like you see him try to come to Dante Thornton, like he's just completely confused. This is
Go
ahead.
Part of me wonders if he's scared off it from last week against Derwin, because I think that's actually a natural safety.
Yeah.
So and like that, like the Tampa drop is where he threw the pick against, or Derwin deflected it last week, and Jefferson picked it off. Part of me wonders if he was thinking about that.
Nice. There's just more field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think I think it's confusion too, because I mean he has time in the pocket. You kind of watch his eyes here a little bit. Boom.
Yeah.
He's like looking, because he really doesn't even look at Tucker, to be honest. He's looking at Myers. So all right, so here's another one, right? We're getting kind of a flood concept, so I'm gonna let it run. And this one just bothered me a little bit, because Tucker is running wide open. But since this is a flood, right? And you see the timing here, boom. Like he's got to be making a decision right now who he's throwing into, right? You got to pick. Like this, you can't read this out. If you're gonna throw it to Brock Bowers, I think Bowers wins enough here where he has enough separation. If it's a good accurate throw to the outside, he catches this ball. And if it's a good play by the corner, good play by the corner, that's fine, right? But that's a safety here. But to me, you got to pick because Tucker's just running right past this guy. So if you picked Tucker based off of this, you just got to go right over the top. And I think that's and then Gino ends up like getting sacked here almost, right? He's just running around and has to throw it away. But it's just a little bit, just the timing of the offense just can get frustrating a little bit here. And then this one here, which is another one where he kind of gets confused a little bit, I think. Which, right, because he is, as you can see at the bottom, you're gonna get like a peel concept, right? And this is when you talk about a little bit of the spacing here, because you can kind of see where Myers is at, but like where Tucker ends up, it ends up being a huge play.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of like they're following each other a little bit. But to be honest, like what happens here is I think honestly, I was looking confused. Because probably if he threw it on time, he has Ian Thomas, but he's late. So then Luvu jumps on it. But he still has plenty of time here if he just doesn't just stays calm a little bit. I know he has Parham like or Kappa flashing in front of him, but I just think he just had a little more time there to get it to him. But
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, basically what I'm saying is Tucker is just wide open all the time. All right. But kind of the only rep that he kind of struggled on was his slant route. And I think, he didn't really sell it very well here, as you can see. Like he tried to hit it like a diamond release, but the guy just did not flinch at all, did not flinch at a move, and kind of just got too physical with him. So like, I think when it comes to like just some of these smaller routes outside, if he has a big corner like this. I forgot what corner this is. It's a big dude, big long corner like this. Kind of just gets hands on him, just take advantage of him. There's really nothing you can do there too much,
Is that Amos?
Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah.
There's really nobody open on this play, to be honest. All right, so let's get to the run game. We're getting to the run game tells here, okay? All right, so I'm gonna let this one run. Just let it run here. Like you get the little jet sweep action, right? Get a little big run. If you're part of the members, I really already broke this down for you, but you could get it again. You're gonna get it again. Nice little 18-yard run, longest run of Jetty's career. Okay, so you got Tre Tucker up here, right? Tre Tucker's gonna come on the jet motion, right? And basically they're gonna go the opposite way. And then I'm gonna talk about this tell later on, but usually Jacoby Myers is lined up. They kind of pull this way, right? But Jacoby Myers is gonna come out this way. Okay, so it kind of just gives them a little bit of confusion, right? They go the opposite way here, then the jet motion, outside zone, kind of seeing Bobby Wagner. And it just opens everything up there for Genty. It's probably one of the best run calls they've made, this year here. So see it from this side here, right? Outside zone. And it's just good blocking. You can kind of see what it does even what the motion does to Bobby Wagner a little bit. Because he sees it, he starts creeping over. He's thinking of something else. You can see it, right? He thinks he's read this, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of comes inside, but it's opposite. And it's just with the whole play. See Meredith with a great block. Parham has a great block. Kappa has a great block. Look at Kappa. Kappa has a great block. DJ Glaze has a great block. Best run, like fantastic. They got to do more of this. But what happens is that I don't know why he thought he was going to fool somebody again with this. And this is what I'm talking about, the tells, right? Same formation, same exact formation. Okay. But this time it's Alex Bachman, right? Bachman's going to do this outside release. You're going to see Tre Tucker do the jet sweep. But I want you to watch 92 here, right? I think that's 92. 96, okay? 96. Okay? Watch Wagner. You see Wagner?
Mm-hmm.
What does Wagner do? As soon as Tucker moves, he starts pointing to him. Look, points.
Yeah.
This guy, he points to 96. He stands up.
Mm-hmm.
This play's dead because Glaze can't get to him, right?
Yeah.
Glaze is not going to be able to reach him at all because he's already inside, right? He's already basically, So he was lined up. He's a 7 here, is it right, Matt? Was it kind of a 6,
I believe he's 6. Yeah.
right?
5 technically, but yeah.
And then okay,
Yeah, it's a 6 technique to a 5, yeah.
yeah, to a 5, right? So that changes everything, changes the whole blocking scheme, and he just he just blows it up,
Yeah. That's
right?
the
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the Max Crosby right there. Just right
Yeah,
before the snap, stand up and then beat him inside.
but that's Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner just told him
Yeah.
it's the same
Which is
play,
awesome.
but it's a great run by Genty. This is awesome, right?
Yeah.
If you watch the run by Genty, right? But that's what I mean. Like these are the tells that no, you just can't run that same play twice, man, with the same exact look against NFL teams. This isn't Purdue. You know what I mean? All
Yeah.
right, so here is a trap run, right? So this ends up just being ugly, but basically what is happening here is when Genty is lined up on the tackle and shotgun like this, they're running the ball. Sometimes
Mm.
when he's lined up inside, right? But usually he's always finds a way to be over the tackle. But if he's over the tackle like this, the chances are they're running the ball. They rarely pass from this. Okay. You can see it here. Even Payne kind of just he's going to charge in. I mean, ends up being trap here, right? And of course, Colton Miller gets his ass kicked. It's a big part of this. But you can even see like even 55, they're all slanting inside right away, right? They're all slanting inside. They're expecting run here just because we're the way Genty's lined up. Boom, and of course he just gets his ass kicked. That was just ass whipping.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I feel like that was Miller's worst rep of the game.
Yeah, but you could
Probably
just
maybe
see,
worst rep of the season.
yeah, from the season, right? You see it, right? But here we go, same trap look. We're gonna flip it though, but look where he's lined up,
Yeah.
right? The
Oh,
same
okay.
split, right? Same split, same look. They actually do a better job. So the thing is, they do a better job blocking up front of the trap. But now Miller, he wants to get up to was it Luvu?
Luvu?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Frankie Luvu, right? He wants to get up to Luvu, but Luvu he notices this right away. You can already see him. He's like, okay, Genty's here. This is just flipped. Same exact formation. Sure, it's a different player. Cool. But it's the same exact look. This is first down, right? That was first down the play before. So same look, first
Mm,
down. Both looks, same thing. Watch Luvu here, right? You know, Glaze is a better job because it's not Payne, but Glaze is a better job on this block, right? Now, I just wish he wasn't a robot here and he would just hit this because,
yeah.
like Josh Jacobs would hit this, and Josh McDaniels be pissed at him because he is supposed to go over here, right? He's supposed to go off the inside hip on the trap, right? But man, he just wasn't a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just
Mhm.
just pure vision. But you already see what Luvu's doing. Look, he already knows it. He knows what was coming right away, and he just jumps it. Boom. Knows exactly what to do. Knows exactly where this play's going. Boom. Tackle for a
Yeah.
loss. So
Mm,
it's just all over the place, man, with these tells. All right, so here's another one here. I pointed this one out because you got Myers inside. They try to switch it up later on in the game, but you got Myers inside here against the Patriots, right? This ends up being a good run here. You get Myers running the counter, right? He's the lead blocker on the counter. Catches the Patriots totally off guard there. They were not expecting that. They were not expecting Myers to be the counter. So it looks at first week one looks really cool. Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
gonna work, right? So we get to week two, right? There's Myers. I was like, what do you think Myers is gonna do here if you're Washington? What do you think? He's lined up here. Same formation. You see the same split where Thornton's at. Same splits. You do a little motion with Betch, maybe give him something different. But if you're Washington, what do you think? What do you think he's gonna do? It's counter.
Yeah.
It's gonna be counter. It's like the same formation. So it's counter here, same look, and look at Bobby Wagner. So the difference is here, Bobby Wagner sees it because you can watch Wagner. See where Wagner's head. Where's Wagner looking?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
He's looking at Myers, right? And then he just follows Myers right to the gap. Boop. Kappa can't get to him. So so yeah, that's just, the run game is it's simplistic as hell.
Especially
Go
when you
ahead.
motion a guy, I was just gonna say, well, especially when you motion a guy in to a cut split or motion receiver into a cut split, like that sends off like should send off alarm signals in any linebacker's brain.
Yeah, because even you watch Wagner move with the motion, he's not even staring at it. He's like, I'm gonna just go watch Myers and see what Myers does here. It's hilarious how much he's just watching him.
As soon as he saw him move. Yep.
I've seen this on film before. All right, and so this is they run trap out of this one, right? So this could be a trap run. They actually got 6 yards out of this one. Did a really good job. Great block from Michael Mayer there. Good block from DJ Glaze. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, great blocks here on this trap. You kind of can see if you look at the formation here, how it looks. Right. You just got this tight end right out the outside. You have Jacoby Myers kind of inside there, right? Yeah. So it ends up he kind of switches it up this time, right? He kind of switches it up this time, but it's still the same look though, right? It's gonna be the same splits. Like if I can go back, like it's gonna be the same splits. I know Glaze is kind of standing up this time, but if you look at the splits between them, between him and Kappa, him and Meredith, right? And you come back here, and then you look at those splits. It's a little bit different, just a little bit, but we end up kind of getting the same run, right? Same trap run. And you can just see how they're just blowing this play up. Like you can see, I think this, who is that? How he's just gonna stand up and blow the same play up, do the same thing, like do a Max Crosby here. Because he's like, okay, that's based on this alignment, it's probably trap. They're probably gonna do that. And then that's what happens. And then the offensive lines gets embarrassed. They're doing all this. So that's what I'm saying. We could do like the whole fire Brendan Carroll thing, but I think what you guys really mean is fire Chip Kelly.
Damn.
I think this is what you guys really mean. It sounds awful. But yeah, man, that's like those are the tells. Like if Genty's lined up on shotgun and he's at the tackle, they're probably gonna run so they can have the split for him to get to the outside zone. He can get back inside. It's gonna be I just show like the inside zones versions of that.
Yeah.
But they try to bring him inside sometimes, but if they're let me say this. If they're passing, he's inside. Or Zamir White's inside. Or Dylan Lobby's inside. The closer, right? Over the guard instead of over the tackle. So if they're passing, he's inside over the guard. If they're running, they're over the tackle.
Yeah. I'm curious too. Like when they put him outside, are they running like trap every time or
it could be inside zone too.
It could be inside zone. Okay. Because the other thing I was like, you're pointing this out. I'm like, that seems like a ton of trap to be running. And the way what like makes trap like a good play is that you don't expect it. Hence the name trap, right? Like if you keep putting the cheese out there, eventually the mouse is going to figure out that that's a trap. Like that's where I'm like, okay, like trap is good, but like you can only really run it and successfully once, maybe twice a game. You know what I mean? Because especially like you said in the NFL, like when you have tells like that too, like these guys are going to figure it out. Like trap is designed to catch the defensive tackle by surprise, so you can run underneath them. But if you keep running it and it's like that much of your playbook, like it's not going to be as effective, and then you're going to have it awkward. Or you're going to have the guy is like walking in awkward spots. So that's the thing to me. I'm like, damn it, I didn't realize they were running so much freaking trap. There's
a lot of trap, bro. But yeah, a lot of trap. A lot of trap. A lot of not a lot of like pure counters. You know what I mean? Like with a guard pulling.
Yeah, like the few ones that you show me, it was like it was like power, right? Basically, just duo with like the wide receiver being the puller.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I would like to see a little more. I was noticing that too. I noticed like on the splits that Genty has, I feel like he's at like double the amount of zone runs as like gap of this season. I would like to see that change simply just because the running game's not working and they got to try something else more than anything. If you really want to boil it down to that being that simple.
Yeah, it's something I'm going to watch going forward. Let's say that, and something I'm definitely going to keep watching because if the running game is not working and they're getting blown up on some of these plays, it's definitely the splits. And I think they gotta do a game where like they're just under center a lot more running the football. They kind of switch it up on teams. And maybe you run some of these same concepts under center and kind of switch it up that way. But I don't know if Chip has that in his mind that he wants to do that. But that's what they have to do. They have to get under center. And I think that's going to take teams a little bit more off guard because I think their under center runs are working a lot better than the shotgun ones. I mean, there was a few good shotgun runs this week, I believe, but it's just if you can run some of these designs right, and you can kind of just switch up the look and have them thinking it's something else, and then you maybe can do something else. Then yeah, it will work. But we'll see what they do this week, man. But yeah, that's really what it's about. It's those tells. And teams are getting it. If you say like you're playing Bobby Wagner, man, he's gonna catch on to that. Like he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You're not gonna fool him.
He's like, oh, look at Jacoby Myers is close.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm just glad we just watched this game.
yeah. Me too, guys. All right, guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. We are out of here. Get you a Bo Jackson shirt, QR code. Get you Tecmo Super Bowl jacket. Get all that. PandaSubs.com. We're out of here, guys. We'll be back with the preview for the Bears. I get to watch Caleb Williams run around in a circle. It's gonna be awesome. He's playing pretty well. He's got 6.7 QBR. He's playing pretty well. All right, guys.
Last week.
Yeah, he did. All right, guys. We're out of here. Peace.